Have you heard the saying, 80% of success is down to mindset and 20% is down to skill? In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down all the common mindset shifts my most successful clients have had to make in order to see real success. Now, let's dive into today's video. Now, if you're new around here, welcome to the Abundant Mums channel, where we talk all things diversifying your income, building income streams and motherhood. So if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe. Now, one of the most challenges most entrepreneurs face is getting stuck in the head. So it can be things like fear of imposter syndrome, fear of success, fear of getting in your own head. And I know all too well because I've been there. Juggling motherhood, running a business can often leave you battling so many limiting beliefs and strongholds. Now, the thing is, it's not about working harder or even working smarter. A lot of the time, in order to see that shift and that momentum that you need, it's working more on the internal factors, looking at these limiting beliefs and dispelling them, and that's how you're going to see the biggest momentum. And I think sometimes we can get so caught in the strategy, and I know coming from the corporate world, strategy was what I focused on the most in the beginning, and it will only get you so far. You want to see the biggest change, it's going internally. And this is especially why I always work within my first module when I'm working with my clients. We look at limiting beliefs and the identity part first before we go into strategy. Because if you can have the best strategy in the world, if you don't have that mindset to go and execute, you won't, and it will just sit there and will just be another course or another thing that you've bought into. So this is so super important. Now, one of the first beliefs that I see all the successful women in my world shift and move through is moving from chaos into an organized field. Now, why do I say this? Because obviously being a mother is chaotic. It can be so crazy sometimes when you're juggling the household, family, and then you bring business into the mix. And if you do not have an organized surrounding, an organized mindset, it's just going to flow into your business. I often believe business is just an extension of you. So if you've got certain things outside settled and just varied, your business is likely to be more organized, settled, and not in chaos. And what I see many of the women have to work through in order to get to this place is focus. Now, there is so many things, trends always coming up on the market that can really steal your attention. And without going through that mindset of, so no, I'm going to stay focused, I'm going to stay a bit disciplined, I'm going to work on perhaps one income stream first, everything can get so chaotic, and you can't have anything great come from chaos. Well, not sustainably anyway. So getting really disciplined, and for discipline, you have to really have a deep level of self-love and self-trust in order to stay disciplined, and saying, no, I'm going to focus on this first, I'm going to master it, then I'm going to introduce another thing, and staying away from the shiny object syndrome that is always plaguing you. There's always a new business, a new opportunity, a new trend that can literally just turn your head. I'm going to stay focused, I'm going to master one income stream, and I'm going to keep my mindset and my surroundings and everything as organized as can be. Is such a huge, massive mental shift. And I always see when this happens, and you can just see the movement happen and the momentum once this is pushed through as well. Now, the next mindset shift that I see my successful clients move through is owning their unique skills, their unique quirks, all of their uniqueness and their story. Once they do this then eliminates the need to feel like they need to fit in and be like XYZ, who they see who's having this exponential growth. Once you own that, and you're able to really embrace who you are, and there's no need to alter yourself to be like this, everything just becomes so much more effortlessly easier, and you don't feel like you're always having to put on a show or a facade in order to get success, and you actually attract your people, the right clients to you, as opposed to repelling them and bringing other people in who think you are something that you are when really that's not who you are. And that literally just becomes exhausting. So embracing the uniqueness, the quirks, the history that you've got, your experience really is the superpower. And when the women in my world do this, everything just slots in so seamlessly and effortlessly, and you just see the right people be attracted. They are just more confident going out there in the world, and everything just fits, get better, like that jigsaw puzzle. Those pieces come together as well. Next mindset shift that I see all of my successful clients having is understanding that everybody, every person, everything does not deserve their time anymore. So I think sometimes as mothers, it can be so easy to think that you still need to be everything to everyone. Usually you and your priorities get put down at the bottom list. And once the women, I see, shift through this and, really just focus, as I said, going back to focus, discipline, this is what they're trying to execute. This is their dream. This is focus, and start saying no to things, feeling like they can say no as well, so that people pleasing just shifts down, then things again become so much easier. Because I always say we all have only 24 hours in the day. You can't be still attributing yourself to saying yes, you'll do that, yes, you'll go to that group, yes, you'll be that person, yes, you'll be in that WhatsApp group, because you only have a certain amount of hours in the day and a certain amount of energy. So you're going to have to say no to a few things that can't warrant and have your time for this time being that you're trying to build your dream, you're trying to build your empire. So once they understand that and understand that actually that doesn't make you selfish, that doesn't make you any of those things that you may have in your mind, that actually it just means you're focused on a goal which is going to enable you to help your family and those that are close and those that you care about even more in the long run. It takes off so much pressure, and it's such a massive mindset shift to move through. And I've had to do this myself on numerous times. And you often do have to check yourself and say, actually, does this WhatsApp group deserve my time? Does this person deserve my time at the moment? Does this Netflix series deserve my time? And if it's a no, then it's just saying a no, not for now. That has to move down. That has to go down to the priority list. And I promise the relief once you start to do this and you realise actually nobody dies, the world doesn't end, is such a shift and can make such a big difference as well. The last mindset shift that I really want to talk about is failure. So this is a big one and something I had to really go through as well. And it relates to the point that I just shared about. But the more we fail is the quicker we move forward to our goal. So every time we execute and maybe we have an idea about a business or we have a product idea and it doesn't work, that failure gives us information of what we need to tweak and what we need to do. Whereas if we just sit there and we think, okay, it's got to be right for me to put it out, and then you wait and that time never comes, then you're never going to get feedback. So you're always going to be even further away from your goal than if you execute and you get that failure and then you use it. And it's really a flip and reverse of, going through that whole education system where if you fail a test, it's deemed as that is the end. There's no other route. So it's really switching that mindset and understanding that failure is actually such a good thing in entrepreneurship. It means you're even closer to your goal. And if you're not getting failure, you're not getting that feedback, it's probably meaning that you're not moving forward again. And when I see my clients execute and they get feedback and failure and they can be resilient enough to brush it off and not take it personally, it's such a beautiful thing, because you just know that on the way to making those moves and getting closer to our goals that much quicker as well. And I think resilience is something that is formed over time when you're able to really disassociate yourself, you and your feelings away from your business. So something I always share is that your business has needs and you has needs as a person, as a human being. And the quicker you can identify both and feed both, is the easier it is to run your business. So when you realize that, okay, that failure is not a reflection of you as a human being, but maybe just as something you've executed, you take it less personally and you're able to move forward. And that has got to be one of the biggest shifts anyone can make, and really can propel them as being the CEO or CEO of their business, because that's what's going to happen. That's what you need. You need resilience and able to be always playing in a market space that's going to be changing all the time as well. That shift that is again so super important to push through is understanding that progress is better than perfection. So most of us have been raised, whether it's through the schooling system, society, that we need to get things right, and that when we don't get things right, it was a sort of like a blip on our character. It says something about us. Now the thing is, entrepreneurship is absolutely the opposite. We need to put in the reps, get the feedback, and it doesn't need to be perfect. The quicker you start to execute is the quicker you get the feedback back, and then you know what to alter, what to tweak, and how to go again with version 2, version 3, version 4. So it's always going to be progress over perfection. And the thing is, that whole mentality of perfection, it doesn't even exist. I think when my clients start to understand that perfection, it doesn't exist, that perfection, it will never feel like it's absolute right time, or you've got everything as you want, and that it's more a mindset of saying, actually, I'm going to try this, I'm going to see what happens, and then I'm going to move again. It's about movement over perfection. And when you understand that, you can just start to see that as you do that, the results start to come in so much quicker. And you just start to see the movement, the momentum, and then the momentum starts to move so much that you're not even there pushing the ball anymore. And I think it's a big thing we have to get over. And a lot of the time it comes from my clients who've been in the corporate world, where they've had to get things signed off. Things have to be perfect before it goes into the world. But as entrepreneurs, I said before, it's complete opposite. It's about moving, taking the action, getting the results, doing it quicker and quicker, making those decisions without everything being perfectly aligned, and then we start to see the results that we really need. Such a game changer. Before I close this video, I want to share a bonus mindset shift, and it's really going from the premise, I can't do this, to how can I? And I think I learned this in a mastermind many years ago, and it's something that's always stayed with me and made the world of difference to me and my business. So when a problem arises, or maybe I need to make a certain amount of capital, instead of saying, okay, I can't, or I can't afford this, it's like, no, how can I? It allows your brain to really expand and the creativity to come into place, because there is always a solution for every problem. It's often that we have limited ourselves to seeing something like literally is black and white, when we start to open up our mindset and think, how can I? All these solutions start to present themselves, all these new avenues that you would have not thought about if you just had your mind on really a fixed mindset. So always asking yourself questions like, how can I? And moving away from you can't, it just opens up so many possibilities. And then before you know it, you have solved that problem, and it's on to the next and on to the next. I think that's the biggest takeaway that I would love you to take from this video. If you're facing a problem in your business, or you're facing something that you want to be able to afford, ask yourself how you can do it, and sit with yourself for a while, brainstorm, go back, take a break, brainstorm, and you will eventually find the solution. We all have the solution. It's just that we haven't given ourselves the capacity or the space to figure it out as well. If you have enjoyed this video, let me know, and what is the biggest mindset shift that you need to work through that we've discussed. And as usual, if you have not subscribed, make sure that you do, and I'll be here again real soon with another video supporting you on how to diversify your income as a busy mother.